Magic can't make you smarter. Wizards can brew liquid luck, travel through time, and talk to portraits. But they still can't fix stupidity. No charm exists for common sense. Just look at Gilderoy Lockhart, the man who wrote entire books about defeating dark creatures, none of which he actually fought. Every spell he performed was stolen from other wizards, followed by a memory charm to erase the evidence. When he finally had to use real magic, he was hopeless. He tried to heal Harry's broken arm and removed all his bones instead. He dueled Snape and got publicly humiliated. And of course, his Obliviate backfired, wiping out his own memory. And he's not alone. Seamus Finnegan kept blowing up cauldrons. Neville melted more potions than he brewed. Even Ron's wand seemed to rebel against him. But the truth runs deeper. Magic can't make you talented, wise, or even magical. Squibs can't suddenly cast spells. Some traits can be trained, others are written into who you are. Magic can't heal everything. For all its miracles, magical healing has limits. It can mend bones, regrow skin, and seal curses, but some conditions are simply part of who you are. Take Harry Potter. He spends 7 years surrounded by healers, yet he still wears glasses. Hermione once uses Oculus Reparo in Sorcerer's Stone, but that only fixes glasses, not eyesight. The same goes for missing limbs. When George Weasley loses his ear to Snape's Sectum Sempra, Madame Pomfrey can't regrow it. Mad-Eye Moody never gets his real eye back either. He uses a magical replacement. Permanent scars tell the same story. Harry's lightning bolt remains even after Voldemort's death. Bill Weasley's werewolf wounds never fade. And Remus Lupin himself proves that lycanthropy, once it's in your blood, can only be managed, never cured. Even rarer conditions like the Maledictus curse are equally irreversible. Once the transformation completes, the human side is lost forever. If you can't fix your love life. For all its power, magic can manipulate minds, twist memories, and even control bodies. But it can't create real emotion. It can fake it, force it, or mimic it for a while, but true feelings are beyond its reach. The clearest example is Amortentia, the most powerful love potion in existence. It smells different to everyone, like whatever they find most attractive, and makes the drinker obsessively devoted. But as Professor Slughorn says in Half-Blood Prince, you can't manufacture love. You can only create obsession. Amortentia doesn't spark affection or care. It breeds fixation and delusion. Voldemort's own story proves this in the darkest way. His mother, Merope Gaunt, used a love potion to make Tom Riddle Sr. fall for her. Kind of like the Wizarding World's version of love at first sight. When she stopped giving it to him, the illusion shattered. He left her instantly. Voldemort was conceived through magic, not love, and grew up incapable of feeling it. Dumbledore later tells Harry that this absence defined everything he became. Magic can copy appearance with Polyjuice Potion, mimic a voice through impersonation charms, and even rewrite memory with Obliviate. Yet the most powerful force in the wizarding world, love, remains the one thing even magic can't create. Magic can't replace technology. You'd think wizards with teleportation, invisibility, and literal time travel would be light years ahead of muggles, but somehow they're still writing with quills and mailing birds. The wizarding world completely skipped the Industrial Revolution. No electricity, no internet, no Netflix, which honestly explains why Voldemort came back. Everyone was just bored. Arthur Weasley treats a rubber duck like it's alien tech because deep down wizards are technologically illiterate. Need to warn someone? Grab an owl and pray it doesn't nap mid-flight. For a society that can brew luck and immortality, they can't build a single light switch. Hogwarts could have installed Wi-Fi and saved a few lives. Magic looks powerful, but it's painfully inefficient, like trying to run Windows 11 on a cauldron. Maybe that's why Muggles evolved faster. We had to. Wizards didn't. In the end, magic didn't make them advanced, it made them lazy. The real power? Innovation. Something no spell can replicate. Magic can't create food. One of the oldest laws in wizarding history is Gamp's law of elemental transfiguration. The rule that says you can't create food from nothing, no matter how powerful you are. You can't conjure a single loaf of bread out of thin air. Even Dumbledore couldn't do it, and neither could Voldemort. Hermione explains this in Deathly Hallows when she, Harry, and Ron are camping in the forest, starving and frustrated. Ron begs her to summon a feast, but she reminds him that food is one of the 5 principal exceptions to Gamp's law. It's not about skill, it's about how magic itself works. Wizards can multiply food that already exists, transform one type into another, or summon it from somewhere nearby, but they can't create it. That's why Hogwarts still needs kitchens and house elves, and why the Weasleys stay poor despite being talented wizards. When it comes to food, there's no shortcut. It's one of the rare moments the series admits that even in a world of miracles, nature still wins. You can enchant everything, you still need dinner. Magic can't bring back the dead. No spell, charm, or artifact has ever truly brought someone back from the dead. Wizards have tried for centuries, and every attempt ends in tragedy. The tale of the three brothers tells it best. Cadmus Peveril used the resurrection stone to summon the spirit of the woman he loved, but she came back wrong. Cold, distant, trapped between life and death. Unable to bear it, he took his own life. The stone doesn't restore life, it only calls back echoes. Harry proves this again in Deathly Hallows when he uses the stone in the Forbidden Forest. He sees his parents, Sirius and Lupin. They comfort him, but they aren't alive. They vanish the moment he drops the stone because they were never truly there, only memories given form. Dumbledore says it plainly. To the well-organized mind, death is but the next great adventure. Magic can bend reality, heal the body, and even split the soul, but it cannot undo death. It remains the one rule every witch and wizard, no matter how powerful, must obey. Magic can't change the past. In the wizarding world, time travel isn't freedom, it's a closed loop. Time turners don't let witches and wizards rewrite history, they force them to fulfill it. Every trip back in time is already part of what's supposed to happen. In Prisoner of Azkaban, Harry and Hermione think they're going back to save Buckbeak and Sirius, but they're really just completing what already occurred. Buckbeak never died. The axe swing they heard was the executioner striking the stump in frustration, because the hippogriff had already been rescued by them. The same happens at the lake. Harry sees someone cast a powerful Patronus and believes it's his father, until he realizes later it was himself. The past didn't change. It always happened that way. That's the cruel beauty of time in the wizarding world. It's fixed. You can interact with the past, but you can't alter it. The universe simply won't allow paradoxes. That's why the Ministry keeps such strict control over time turners. One witch, Eloise Mintumble, traveled 5 centuries back and aged 500 years trying to return, nearly destroying time itself. In the end, time magic doesn't give wizards freedom, it gives them fate, disguised as a spell. Magic doesn't work everywhere. Even in a world powered by spells, there are places and forces that reject magic completely. These are anti-magic zones, spaces or objects where enchantments fail, charms collapse, and spells vanish as if they never existed. One of the clearest examples is Gringotts Thief's Downfall, a magical waterfall that strips away all enchantments. When Harry, Ron, and Hermione ride through it in Deathly Hallows, their disguises vanish instantly. Polyjuice potion, concealment charms, gone. It doesn't matter how powerful you are, the water wipes magic clean. The same effect appears inside the Department of Mysteries, where some rooms operate under entirely different magical laws. The Veil Room, the Time Room, and the Love Chamber are unpredictable. Spells rebound, protections collapse, and magic behaves like it's lost its mind. Even Hogwarts enforces its own anti-magic rules. No one can apparate or disapparate on school grounds. Not even Dumbledore. Voldemort himself had to walk through the gates during the Battle of Hogwarts. Some creatures also nullify magic just by existing. Dementors drain power along with hope. Dragons' hides repel spells entirely. These limits remind wizards that their power isn't absolute. Every spell has a counter, every defense a weakness. Even magic can't change fate. In the wizarding world, fate doesn't ask for permission. Prophecies don't predict what might happen. They reveal what must. And every attempt to avoid them only ends up fulfilling them. The most famous example is the prophecy about Harry and Voldemort, made by Professor Trelawney in Order of the Phoenix. It said, "Neither can live while the other survives," and could have applied to either Harry Potter or Neville Longbottom. But Voldemort chose Harry, marking him as his equal, and in doing so made the prophecy come true. If he'd ignored it, it might never have mattered. But by acting on it, he set the entire story in motion. That's the paradox of fate in this universe. The harder you fight it, the faster you fulfill it. Dumbledore explains that prophecies don't control choices. They simply reflect them. Fate doesn't force you, it uses you. In the wizarding world, destiny and free will walk side by side, but magic always bends toward inevitability. You can't change the past with a time turner, and you can't escape the future, because in the end, magic can bend reality. reality, but never rewrite what's meant to be. You can't fake intent with magic. In the wizarding world, emotion doesn't just shape magic, it powers it. You can memorize every incantation, perfect your pronunciation, and still fail if your feelings don't match the spell. The unforgivable curses prove it. In Goblet of Fire, Barty Crouch Jr., disguised as Mad-Eye Moody, tells his class they could all shout Avada Kedavra at him and nothing would happen. Why? Because none of them truly mean it. The killing curse only works when there's real intent to kill. Not anger, not fear, but the cold desire to end a life. Harry learns the same lesson in the Department of Mysteries, when he casts Crucio on Bellatrix Lestrange. She laughs and tells him he has to really mean it. His rage isn't enough. He doesn't want her to suffer, just to stop. Without true sadism, the spell weakens. Magic can sense what you actually feel. That's why Snape's Patronus glows for Lily, and Umbridge's protects her out of self-righteous conviction. It listens to the truth beneath the words. Voldemort's power lies in his lack of conflict. No hesitation, no mercy, no doubt. In the end, you can't lie to your wand. Magic can't fix the wizarding world. The wizarding world isn't a paradise, it's a mirror. Magic didn't erase corruption, it just gave it better costumes. The Ministry of Magic isn't justice, it's politics with wands. Fudge denied Voldemort's return to protect his reputation. Umbridge tortured children in the name of order. House elves still serve their masters, and goblins are banned from owning the gold they guard. Werewolves like Lupin are shunned even after risking their lives for the very people who fear them. Pureblood families run everything, while Muggleborns fight just to be seen as equal. Hogwarts teaches spells, not empathy, and every war, Grindelwald, Voldemort, take your pick, starts for the same reason. Someone didn't get enough hugs, and way too much power. But you know what's even crazier? All 5 wizarding wars in Harry Potter explained. That's your next lesson at Stickman Hogwarts. Snape's waiting. Click now before he gives you a hug.